The Grisly Tale of Squeezeguts Alley. Cedric Pilkington loved cake. Any cake. Ever since he was a little boy, he'd loved chocolate cake. He loved ginger cake. He loved Madeira cake, lemon drizzle cake, cupcakes, blueberry muffins and cheesecake. He loved ice buns, Belgian buns and cinnamon buns. And his favourite thing of all was a jam donut, thick and sugary and stuffed with sweet sticky raspberry jam. The children at school would tease him, calling, "Greedy, greedy Pilkington, greedy, greedy Pilkington," over and over. What Cedric Pilkington didn't like was vegetables. If anyone offered him a nice crunchy carrot or a piece of tender stem broccoli, he would recoil in horror the way a vampire would recoil from a piece of garlic. No, cake was what Cedric liked, and jam donuts he loved most of all. And after a lifetime of eating nothing but cake, of course, Cedric had grown rather round, like a big beach ball or a hot air balloon. In truth, he was a bit of a pudding. Now it so happens that there's a town in Cornwall called Truro, and it so happens that in that town there's an alley called Squeezeguts Alley, and it so happens that Cedric Pilkington was having a well-earned holiday in that very town. As he waddled along the street, keeping an eye out for a cake shop, his eye was drawn to a sign on the wall above that very alley. Squeezeguts Alley. What a peculiar name, and such a narrow alley. He was about to move away when he caught a glimpse of what appeared to be a jam donut, sitting there in the shadowy depths of the alley. "Oh," he squeaked, "what a lovely-looking donut!" He took a quick look round to see if it might belong to anyone, then took a few steps forward and picked it up. It was a most delicious-looking donut, all glistening with sugar and a hint of jammy goodness seeping from its side. Unable to resist, he raised it to his lips and took a big bite. As he did so, he heard a faint, ghostly chorus call, "Greedy, greedy Pilkington." "What?" he spluttered, with a mouthful of chewy donut. He listened, but there was only silence and the soft cry of a seagull far up in the sky. He finished off the donut. Then as he was licking his fingers one by one, he spied a second donut further back in the alley. "Was such a delicious treat cannot go to waste," he thought, and took a few more steps into the shadows. As he did so, he felt the alley appeared to be getting narrower. He reached the second donut and quickly polished it off. Again he heard a faint ghostly cry of, "Greedy, greedy Pilkington." But now his hunger was upon him, and he saw there was a third donut even further back. The alley was definitely getting narrower, and it was starting to be a tight fit for poor Cedric. He squeezed along between the walls and reached the third donut, finishing it off with a soft cry of, "Greedy, greedy Pilkington," ringing in his ears. And now there was a fourth, and then a fifth donut, always just a bit further out of reach. And the walls were so close together, Cedric had to squeeze his body sideways to reach them, the ghostly refrain of "Greedy, greedy Pilkington" echoing around in the darkness. By the time he saw the sixth donut, he was pressed tight on both sides by cold, hard brick. He stretched out his arm to try and grab the donut, but no matter how hard he wriggled his chubby fingers, the donut stayed just out of reach. "Greedy, greedy Pilkington." With a rising sense of panic, he realised he was stuck, and wait! The walls appeared to be closing slowly together. Panicking, he tried to squeeze himself back the way he came, but it was no use. He was trapped. He could hear quite plainly now the mocking cry of, "Greedy, greedy Pilkington! Greedy, greedy Pilkington!" He tried to shout for help, but the gulls were circling and squealing loudly overhead, drowning his pleas. "Greedy, greedy Pilkington!" The walls inched closer and closer together with a dreadful grinding noise, until suddenly there was an unearthly scream and an almighty grisly pop. At the entrance to Squeezeguts alley, a small chihuahua was sniffing at the pavement while its owner chatted away on her mobile phone. "So I told him you wouldn't catch me going in one of those shops. They're so common. Oh, Chester, don't eat that. You'll be sick," she cried, looking down at the dog, who was busy lapping up a thick, glistening red trickle of what appeared to be raspberry jam coming out of the alley. Greedy Pilkington.